So in today's class we shall be learning about the evaluation and compensation to the pharmacist. So how the recruited and selected pharmacist is evaluated on the basis of various parameters, and how effectively a pharmacist can be compensated by the remuneration against his hard work. So now first of all let us start with the evaluation of pharmacist. So first of all we shall be starting with the evaluation of pharmacist. The evaluation of pharmacist can be done on various parameters. The number one is appearance. This involves the physical outlook of a pharmacist, how well dressed a pharmacist is, plus the wearing of lab coats during the pharmacy working hours is must. So these all attributes towards the appearance. Then comes the personality. Afterwards, it is the alertness and promptness in dealing with the customer. So the third one is alertness and promptness in dealing with customers. So how carefully the pharmacist can handle its customers and how promptly it can answer the various queries of a customer. Then comes the courtesy and attitude towards the customer. The feeling of courtesy and attitude towards customer. This contributes towards the gratitude of a pharmacist in expressing its views regarding a particular product and how effectively it can handle the different temperaments of the customer also. Then comes the personal acquaintance with the customer. Personal acquaintance with the customers. This refers to the friendly behavior of the pharmacist, how effectively it can handle the customer's behavior. After that comes the product knowledge. So this is an important skill to become a good pharmacist. So the knowledge of product is really essential. All the other parameters are waste if the pharmacist is not having a valuable knowledge regarding the product he is selling. So product knowledge is very, very important. So after that comes the selling ability. So this is the property of the effective salesman. After the selling ability comes the suggestive selling. So not only the pharmacist can sell the product effectively, it can also suggest the customers that which product is more beneficial to them as per their requirement. So suggestive selling should also be there. And lastly, the self-improvement. A pharmacist should know the various drawbacks he is having and try to improve from those drawbacks. So self-improvement is quite important. And lastly, a bonus point we can say, that is cooperation with colleagues. So without cooperation and team effort, no one can succeed in a corporate environment. So cooperation with colleagues is must, and one must understand the weakness of the colleagues and try to overcome them in order to achieve the goal collectively. So the grades good, average and poor may be given on each of these points mentioned in the checklist, and a consolidated report may be prepared. The main advantages of filling this checklist for each employee is to evaluate them and find suitable corrective measures to improve their performance. So students, this was all regarding the evaluation of a pharmacist, how a pharmacist can be evaluated. Next comes the compensation to the pharmacist. So this is somewhat tedious and more technical aspect of compensation. So we shall be studying the compensation to the pharmacist. So majority of the drugstore find it difficult to retain the good employees. Adequate compensation help in retaining the good employees and moreover encourages them to work wholeheartedly. So the compensation includes, so what does the compensation include? It may include the salary and other benefits. So first of all, it will be containing salary and then the other benefits such as HRA or house rent allowances, then accommodation or free residential accommodation, also the medicals or the medical allowances are also covered under this. Then the insurance scheme, if anything bad happens to the person, so the insurance must cover up those debts. Bonus also, traveling allowances also, and other supplementary retirement benefits. These can be included into a compensation to the pharmacist. So in order to maintain the interest of an employee in his job, the compensation plan may cover the following points. Now we shall be discussing what are the important points that are to be covered so that the employee should be retained in a particular organization. So number one is adequacy. The amount of compensation should be in proportion to the responsibility of his job. So it should be sufficient to maintain a reasonable standard of living. So adequacy of the compensation should be reasonable and as per the responsibilities, so that it maintains the standard of living of a person. So this is quite important. The compensation given should be compatible with that of persons employed in a similar job elsewhere. So there should not be huge differences between the other organization. So it must be relevant to the other organization. The next one is simplicity. The compensation plan should be simple so that it can be easily understood by the employees. Simple plan and easy to understand by the employees. It is always easy to implement such simple compensation plans. So the next one is incentive. The plan should stimulate the employees to find out the ways and means to make profitable drug sales over a long period of time. So the incentives should motivate the employees to boost up the sales. It is in a mutual benefit of both the employee and the owner of that particular organization. Because such incentives will motivate the employees to earn more, and this will further boost up the sales, which will in turn help the revenue generation of the owner. So the next is proportionate award The plans are framed in such a way that the pay of employee should be proportionate to the volume of the sales made by him. So here there is a direct relation between the salary and the volume of sales made. So more the sales, more will be the salary, as there will be an increase in the incentive. The salesman who is doing a better job than his fellow salesman must be given a greater reward. So thus good sales effort should be suitably compensated. So there should be extra benefits for better performers. Next comes the flexibility. The plan should be flexible enough to operate effectively throughout the year. So there should be long term application of such compensation plans. Moreover, it should be reasonably adjustable to meet the normal variations which occur in the course of business, so that it can easily accommodate variations in plans. Next comes the promotion. A provision should be made in the compensation plan to provide promotion in pay and reward for continuous long and devoted service of an employee. So there must be some sort of provision to provide promotion in terms of pay and reward for continuous long and devoted services of an employee. A periodical increment should be given to the employee to compensate his long term service. So it may also include the periodic increments. So periodic increments can also be included. And lastly comes the uniform earning. So the plan should be enable to employee to earn a reasonable uniform income each month. So there must be a reasonable uniform income or earning each month. It is difficult for a man to adjust for his standard of living if there is a variation in its monthly income. So a regular income each month helps to maintain the equilibrium between the demands and the supply of money. So students, this was all regarding the evaluation and compensation to the pharmacist. I hope the concept is clear to you. We have discussed the various checklist points such as appearance, personality, alertness, courtesy, personal acquaintance, product knowledge, selling abilities, suggestive selling, self-improvement and cooperation with colleagues under the heading of evaluation of a pharmacist. And similarly, how a pharmacist should be compensated, what are the salaries and other bonus rewards that are to be settled out. So there are certain key points that are to be kept in mind while designing a compensation plan to the pharmacist. These are the adequacy, simplicity, incentive, proportionate award, flexibility, promotion, and uniform earning. So I hope now the topic of evaluation and compensation to pharmacists are clear to you now.